Eli was a janitor. He worked at a big research facility in the city. Most people ignored him. They thought he only cleaned floors and emptied trash. But Eli liked his work. He liked quiet nights when the building was empty, and he could walk in the halls without anyone watching him. He liked small things like fixing a broken light or finding lost papers. One night, after finishing his shift, Eli went to the rooftop to look at the stars. The city was bright, but the sky was still clear. He liked to watch the stars. It made him feel small but calm. Suddenly, something strange appeared in the sky. A bright light streaked across the darkness, moving very fast. Eli squinted. It looked like a falling star, but it came closer, bigger and brighter. The light crashed behind the city buildings. Eli's heart beat fast. He had to see it. He ran down the rooftop stairs and out to the empty street. Smoke and dust rose from a nearby park. Eli approached carefully. His janitor's flashlight cut through the haze. Then he saw her. A girl lay on the ground. She was small and thin, with hair that shone softly in the dim light. Her clothes were strange, unlike anything Eli had seen before. They looked like a mix of silk and metal. She was unconscious but breathing. Eli rushed to her side. Her skin glowed faintly like the moonlight, and tiny sparks ran along her hair. "Are you okay?" Eli asked, gently lifting her. She did not answer. He carried her to his small van, keeping her warm. He was careful not to drop her. Something about her felt different, special. Eli did not know why, but he felt he had to help her. Back in his apartment, Eli laid her on his couch. He ran cold water for a cloth and wiped the dirt from her face. She stirred and opened her eyes slowly. They were a bright, unusual color, like silver mixed with blue. She looked around, scared, and tried to speak, but only soft, strange sounds came out. Eli smiled. "It's okay. You're safe here," he said. The girl tried to move, but she was weak. Eli gave her water. She drank slowly, watching him carefully. There was something in her eyes, something wise and old, though she looked very young. Eli felt a little nervous. He had never seen anyone like her. He wondered where she came from. Maybe she fell from an airplane? But no plane had crashed. Maybe someone had hurt her? He did not know, but he wanted to help. For the next hours, Eli cleaned the dirt from her clothes and gave her some food. She ate slowly, looking at him like she was learning. Sometimes she reached out her hand, and small sparks of light jumped from her fingers. Eli jumped back, surprised, but she only smiled softly. It was strange but not scary. He felt like she trusted him. Outside, the city was quiet. The wind blew gently through the streets. Lights flickered in distant windows. Eli wondered what to do next. He could not call the police. Who would believe a girl fell from the sky? He thought about taking her to a hospital, but he worried they would separate them. He felt a strong need to protect her, even though he did not know her name or where she came from. The girl finally spoke a word, softly. It was not in English. Eli shook his head. He could not understand. But the sound was gentle, musical, and it made him smile. "It's okay. I'll take care of you," he said. She nodded slightly, as if she understood him perfectly. Hours passed. Eli watched her sleep. He thought about the strange light in the sky, about how she had fallen, and about the strange power she seemed to have. Something told him this was not an ordinary girl. But he did not care. She was here and she needed him. That was enough. Suddenly, a loud noise came from outside. Eli looked out the window. No one was there. Maybe it was just the wind. But he felt uneasy. Something was different about this night. Something had changed. The girl's arrival was not just a coincidence. He did not know it yet, but her fall from the sky would change everything. His ordinary life, his quiet nights, his simple work as a janitor, it would never be the same again. Eli sat beside her, keeping a hand on her shoulder. She blinked at him with her silver blue eyes and whispered another word, softer this time. It sounded almost like a name. Eli nodded. "You're safe. Don't worry." Outside, the city slept, unaware of the strange visitor who had fallen into the life of a humble janitor. Eli did not know it, but he had just met someone who was more than human. Someone who carried a whole world on her shoulders. And he would protect her no matter what. Days passed since the girl fell from the sky. Eli took care of her, though he still did not know her name or where she came from. She stayed mostly quiet, but slowly she began to move and explore the small apartment. Her steps were careful, almost floating, and she watched everything with curious eyes. Eli found himself smiling at her small gestures, the way she touched objects with wonder. At first, nothing seemed strange. But soon Eli noticed odd things. A plant on his windowsill that had been brown and dry suddenly grew green and strong in a few hours. A broken lamp flickered back to life when she passed near it. Lights in the hallway dimmed and brightened around her. Eli blinked, unsure what he was seeing. "Are you doing this?" he asked quietly. The girl looked at him, her eyes shining softly, then nodded. She could not speak much, but she began to respond with gestures. She would point to a broken object and it would fix itself. She would touch the walls and a soft glow spread from her fingertips. Eli was amazed, but he did not feel afraid. He only felt a strange warmth in his chest. He had never seen anything like this before. One evening Eli took her to the rooftop. The city lights sparkled below. "I don't know where you came from," he said, "but I want you to be safe. I'll protect you no matter what." The girl looked at him and for the first time she smiled. Her smile was bright, almost like sunlight. Then to Eli's surprise she floated a few inches above the ground. He gasped. "You can fly?" he asked. The girl tilted her head and nodded. She rose a little higher, then floated down gently. Eli's heart raced. He had never met anyone like her. She was like a dream, a miracle, or maybe something from another world. And somehow she trusted him enough to show her powers. Eli began to notice other small abilities. The girl could heal tiny injuries. When he accidentally cut his hand while fixing a broken window, she touched it lightly, and the cut closed almost instantly. She could also sense danger. When a stray cat ran across the street, she jumped back and made a soft sound. Eli looked around but saw nothing unusual. Yet somehow he felt that her warning had saved him from something unseen. Despite her powers, she seemed very human in other ways. She laughed when Eli dropped a mop, and she watched him eat dinner with curiosity. She asked for nothing, and her simple presence filled the apartment with quiet happiness. Eli began to wonder why someone like her had fallen to earth, alone and weak. She could probably do amazing things, yet she seemed so gentle, so kind. One afternoon Eli took her outside for a short walk. He wanted her to feel the city, the sounds, the smells. People passed by without noticing her. It was strange, she seemed to glow faintly, yet no one reacted. Eli wondered if they could feel something about her, something powerful but hidden. As they walked, she reached out and touched a bird perched on a fence. The bird's feathers glowed slightly, then it flew away. Eli laughed softly. "You really are special," he said. The girl nodded, smiling. But not everything was peaceful. Strange shadows began to appear in the city. Eli noticed black cars following him sometimes, and people standing too long near his apartment. He could not explain it. The girl seemed to sense it too. One night she woke him up. Her silver-blue eyes glowed brightly and she pointed toward the window. Eli looked out and saw a strange figure on the street below. Before he could react, the figure vanished. "I think they are looking for you," Eli whispered. The girl nodded again, almost sadly. Eli realized that her powers, her beauty, and her presence might attract attention, and not all of it would be friendly. He felt a strong desire to protect her, even if he did not fully understand who she was. He did not care about fame or rewards. He only knew she was here and she needed him. Over the next few days Eli tried to teach her simple things about Earth. How to buy food, how to use small machines, how to speak a few words. She learned quickly, faster than any human child. Sometimes she would repeat phrases he said, her voice musical and soft. Eli found it comforting. He was not alone anymore. He had someone to care for and she seemed to care for him too. One evening they sat on the rooftop again. The city lights reflected in her glowing eyes. She looked at him and he felt as if she were trying to say something important. Eli did not understand, but he nodded, waiting patiently. He realized that even without words they communicated. A bond had formed between them, a quiet trust. Eli did not know it yet, but the girl's powers were only a small part of who she was. She carried secrets, knowledge, and responsibility far beyond Earth. And soon, those secrets would bring danger to their lives. But for now, on this quiet rooftop, she floated gently and Eli held her hand. He was ready to face whatever came next because he knew one thing for sure. She was special and he would not let anything harm her. The night was calm, but the city felt different. Something extraordinary had arrived, and Eli's ordinary life was changing forever. Eli thought things would stay quiet, but he was wrong. Strange events started happening around the city. He noticed black cars parked too long near his apartment. Strange people in dark clothes watched him from a distance. At first he thought he was imagining it, but the girl noticed too. Her silver-blue eyes glowed when danger came near, and she sometimes trembled slightly. One evening while they walked through a quiet street, Eli saw shadows moving quickly behind them. He grabbed the girl's hand. "Stay close," he whispered. The girl nodded. Her small hand felt warm in his, and he felt a sudden strength he did not know he had. A van suddenly stopped near them, its doors sliding open. 3 tall figures jumped out. They wore suits that shimmered faintly in the streetlight. Their faces were hidden, but Eli could feel the power around them. He did not know what they wanted, but he guessed it was the girl. His heart beat fast, but he did not run. "Who are you?" he shouted. The figures said nothing. They moved silently like shadows. Eli pulled the girl behind a corner. He looked at her. "Can you help me?" he asked. She nodded slightly, her small hands glowing faintly. A soft pulse of energy burst from her fingertips. The figure stopped suddenly, looking confused. Eli saw his chance. He grabbed the girl and ran. They ran through narrow streets, alleys, and small parks. Eli used everything he had learned as a janitor in the city: shortcuts, hidden doors, and rooftops. The girl floated a few steps above the ground, making them faster. She was careful not to fall, but her power helped them escape. As they reached a small bridge, one of the figures jumped in front of them. Eli froze. He looked at the girl. She took a deep breath and raised her hands. A bright wave of light came from her. The figure stumbled backward, shielding their eyes. Eli did not understand the power, but he realized she could protect them. "Run!" he shouted. The girl smiled faintly and flew over the figure. Eli ran after her, heart pounding. They reached a quiet street, and the figures disappeared into the shadows. Eli stopped and leaned against a wall, breathing hard. The girl floated down next to him. She looked tired but unharmed. Eli looked at her. You are amazing," he said. She tilted her head and smiled. It was strange, but the smile made him feel calm. He realized she was not dangerous. The danger came from those who wanted to take her. The next day Eli tried to plan. He could not call the police. Who would believe him if he said strange alien figures were chasing them? He had to be clever. He began moving the girl to different hiding places, small apartments, and even storage rooms he knew in the city. Each day they stayed one step ahead. The girl's powers became stronger. She could sense danger before it happened. If someone came too close, she would give a warning sound or a soft glow. Eli learned to trust her instincts. He was amazed at her abilities, but he also worried. The world was not ready for someone like her, and neither was he. One evening they rested on the rooftop again. The city lights were bright below. Eli looked at her. "They will not stop," he said quietly. She nodded. Her eyes shone softly. Eli realized something important. No matter how powerful she was, she needed him too. His cleverness, his courage, his knowledge of the city, all of it mattered. The girl reached out and touched his shoulder. A small spark ran through his body. It was not painful, just warm and comforting. He felt a connection with her, a silent understanding. They were partners now, even though Eli was just a janitor and she was something far greater. Days passed and the pursuit grew more intense. Strange vehicles appeared in the sky, following them at night. Shadows moved in alleys and rooftops. Eli became more alert, more careful. He used his tools, flashlights, ladders, even trash carts, to block paths and slow their pursuers. Each time the girl helped him with small bursts of power. Together they survived every attempt to capture her. Eli sometimes wondered why she came to Earth. Was it luck? Or had someone sent her here on purpose? The girl never answered directly. She only watched the city, curious and cautious. But Eli knew one thing. Her life and his were now connected. Whatever came next, they would face it together. One night, as they hid in an abandoned warehouse, Eli looked at the girl. "I don't know who you are," he said softly, "but I will protect you. No matter what." She looked at him, and for the first time she seemed to truly trust him. Her glowing eyes reflected hope, not fear. Outside the city slept. But Eli knew the danger was growing. The hunters were patient and they were powerful. Soon they would try something bigger. Eli tightened his grip on the girl's hand. He was afraid, but he also felt ready. He had never been a hero before, but now for this girl he could be anything. The rooftop was quiet, the lights soft, but Eli understood one truth. The world was bigger than he thought. And he and the girl were part of something far greater than either of them could imagine. Their adventure was only beginning, and the pursuit would test every skill, every choice, and every bit of courage they had. Eli and the girl had been hiding for days in an abandoned building at the edge of the city. The air smelled of dust and old wood. Outside, the city moved on as usual, but inside, time felt slower. Eli was worried. The pursuers were still out there. He could feel it. Every shadow, every sound made him alert. The girl sat on the floor, her silver blue eyes glowing softly. Eli watched her. She had been quiet all day, staring at the walls as if she remembered something important. Suddenly, she looked at him and spoke a word in her strange language. Eli did not understand, but the tone was serious, almost urgent. I don't know what you're saying, Eli said, kneeling beside her. But it's okay. You're safe with me. The girl's hands glowed slightly. She reached out, touching his shoulder gently. A warmth ran through him, stronger than before. He felt calm but also, like something important was about to happen. Without warning, the building shook. The walls rattled and the windows trembled. Eli jumped to his feet. They found us, he shouted. The pursuers had tracked them again. Eli grabbed the girl, ready to run, but she stopped him. Her small hands glowed brighter and suddenly, a dome of light surrounded them. The pursuers froze outside the glowing shield. They tried to enter, but an invisible force held them back. Eli stared, speechless. The girl floated into the air. Her body glowed, bright and strong. Light spread from her, filling the entire room. Eli's eyes widened. He had never seen anything like this before. She spoke again, clearly this time in a voice that sounded like music. I am the queen, she said. The ruler of my planet. My name is Lyra. Eli blinked. He could not believe it. The girl he had cared for, protected and hidden was a queen. Not just any queen, but a being from another world, a world far beyond Earth. Eli sank to his knees. You're the queen? He whispered. Lyra nodded, her glowing eyes serious. I was sent away to escape danger. My enemies want to capture me. They will stop at nothing. But I did not know you would help me. You protected me when you did not even know who I was. Eli felt a strange mix of pride and fear. He had never thought of himself as brave. He was just a janitor, someone ordinary, someone no one noticed. But now he realized that his courage, his cleverness, and his kindness had made a difference. He had helped a queen survive. Lyra's glow softened, and she floated down to sit beside him. You are special, Eli, she said softly. Your heart is strong and your courage is true. I have seen many worlds, many people, but humans, you have something unique. You care without thinking of reward. You protect without fear. That is rare. Eli shook his head. I'm just me. I don't have powers like you. Lyra smiled. That is why you are strong. Powers can be taken away. Courage cannot. You fought for me, outsmarted them, and kept me safe. That is more important than any power I have. Outside, the pursuers tried again. But Lyra rose into the air, her light expanding into a shield so bright it blocked the entire street. The dark figures froze, unable to advance. Eli watched amazed. He realized that Lyra trusted him completely. Together they could face anything. She turned to him. We must leave Earth soon, she said. But before we do, I want you to know. I will never forget what you have done. You are my friend. My protector. And when I return to my planet, I will honor you. Eli felt his chest tighten. He had never expected recognition, but hearing it from someone like her, it felt extraordinary. Eli stood up. Then we leave together, he said. I won't let anyone harm you. Lyra nodded, smiling softly. Yes, together. That night they left the building. Lyra's glow lit their path through the empty streets. The city looked ordinary, but for Eli, everything had changed. He walked beside a queen, a being from another world. The ordinary life he had known, the quiet nights, the simple janitor work, was gone. In its place was adventure, danger, and something amazing. As they reached the outskirts of the city, Lyra raised her hands. A small spaceship, hidden in the shadows, descended silently. She stepped inside and Eli followed. The ship's interior was warm and bright, filled with technology he had never seen. Screens displayed stars, planets, and systems far beyond Earth. Eli felt a mixture of fear and excitement. Lyra looked at him. Eli, you have been brave. You have saved me. And now, you will see what I have never shown anyone. You will see the galaxy. Eli swallowed hard. He had never imagined such a life. He had never imagined he would leave Earth, let alone travel among the stars with an alien queen. The ship rose into the sky. The city shrank below them, lights twinkling like stars. Eli looked at Lyra. Thank you, he said quietly. For trusting me. She smiled. No, Eli. Thank you for being human. As they soared into the night, Eli realized something incredible. He had started as an ordinary janitor. Now he was part of something extraordinary. He was part of a story bigger than Earth, bigger than anything he had ever imagined. And he knew one truth. He would protect Lyra, no matter what dangers came next. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. And for the first time, Eli felt like he truly belonged in the universe. The spaceship floated silently through the stars. Eli had never seen anything like it. Lights blinked on panels, soft hums filled the air, and the view from the windows showed countless stars stretching endlessly. He still could not believe he was here, traveling with Lyra, the girl who had fallen from the sky and turned out to be a queen. Lyra floated beside him, her silver blue eyes glowing softly. She looked at Eli and smiled. "You have been brave, Eli. You have protected me when no one else could. Soon I will return to my planet. But I wanted you to see something first." Eli nodded, feeling both excited and nervous. He did not know what to expect. The ship descended onto a world unlike Earth. The sky was bright with two suns, and the land below shimmered with colors he had never seen. Buildings looked alive as if they were grown from crystal and metal together. The air felt different, light and warm. Eli stepped out with caution. Every step amazed him. This was Lyra's home and he was walking in it. Lyra led him to a large courtyard. Dozens of aliens stood there, regal and powerful. They wore long robes and carried staffs, but they were silent, waiting. Lyra's presence made them bow slightly. Eli realized that they recognized her, respected her. She turned to him. "These are my people," she said softly. "And they are your allies now if you choose." Eli felt nervous. He was just a janitor. How could he belong here? But Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. "Do not doubt yourself. Courage is not about titles or strength. Courage is about heart. And you have more courage than anyone I know." Eli swallowed hard, feeling both proud and humbled. A council approached Lyra. They bowed deeply, speaking in a language Eli could not understand. Lyra answered in the same language, and then she turned to him. "Eli, I want to honor you. For saving me, for protecting me, for showing what humans can be. You will always have a place in my world." She held out a small, glowing device. Eli took it carefully. "What is this?" he asked. Lyra smiled. "It is a gift. It can help you communicate with us if you ever need help. But more importantly, it is a sign of respect. You are a hero, Eli, not because of power, but because of your heart." Eli held it close, feeling its warmth. He had never received anything like this before. For the next few days Eli explored Lyra's world. He saw gardens that glowed in the dark, rivers that shimmered with light, and animals that seemed alive with energy. He watched Lyra interact with her people. Even though she was powerful, she was kind, patient, and fair. Eli realized how different her world was from Earth. There was beauty, technology, and wisdom, but there was also danger. The same people who had chased her would return if she was not careful. Eli learned quickly. He used his cleverness and knowledge to help Lyra plan defenses and secure the palace. He moved objects, solved small problems, and even taught some of her people simple Earth tricks. They laughed at his ideas at first, but soon they respected him. He was just a human, but his mind, courage, and determination made a difference. One evening, Lyra took him to a balcony overlooking the city. The suns were setting, painting the sky in gold and purple. "Eli," she said softly, "your world may be small, but your heart is big. That is why you could protect me. That is why humans can be great. Your world has something we do not always see: strength, kindness, courage. Never forget it." Eli felt a deep pride. He had always thought of himself as ordinary. A janitor, unnoticed, simple. But now he realized he had done extraordinary things. He had saved a queen, protected a world, and shown that humanity was capable of more than anyone imagined. The day came when Eli had to return to Earth. Lyra's ship prepared for the journey back. Eli felt sad to leave, but he knew he had his own life to return to. Lyra hugged him tightly. "Remember, Eli," she said, "you are never alone. You are part of something greater now. And someday our worlds may meet again." He stepped onto Earth once more. The city looked the same, but he felt different. He walked through streets he had known all his life, yet now he noticed details he had ignored: the small lights, the quiet corners, the way people moved. He smiled softly, holding the glowing device Lyra had given him. Back in his apartment, he returned to his simple life. Floors were still dirty, trash needed emptying, and pipes sometimes leaked. But Eli no longer felt ordinary. He had seen the galaxy, met a queen, and proven that humans could do extraordinary things. And he knew that one day, if the world needed him, or if Lyra called, he would rise again. That night he looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, Lyra watched Earth, remembering the janitor who had saved her. Eli whispered softly, "Thank you, Lyra, and thank you for trusting me." A gentle light glimmered from the device in his hand, as if answering him. Eli smiled. He had been a janitor, a simple man. But now he was part of something much bigger. A protector, a friend, a hero. And the universe would never forget him. The stars twinkled above, endless and bright, and Eli felt a quiet pride. Humanity was small, fragile, and ordinary in many ways, but with courage, heart, and kindness, it could shine among the stars. And Eli, the janitor who had saved a queen, knew this was only the beginning.